Movie fans, so Captain America, the Winter Soldier, is it the best MCU film? Or is it just a standalone spy movie in superhero disguise? I just rewatched it, and whilst yes, of course, I understand why it's held up as an all-time great Marvel movie, but I don't think it cracks my top 5, so let's dig deep and find out why. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ash from Gedgehammer Reviews. We're breaking down everything Marvel and more. If you love movies, debates on comic books, or just want to talk about them, or tell me I'm wrong, that happens all the time too, then please smash that like button, hit subscribe, let's get smashing, and enjoy the review. The Winter Soldier, the second Captain America solo movie. Well, this was released back in 2014, 11 years ago somehow, directed by the Russo brothers before they became Marvel's go-to men. This is the movie that people point to as the moment that the MCU grew up. Suddenly it wasn't about superheroes fighting aliens, but real-world stakes. So we've got trust, government conspiracies, and massive paranoia, the sort that you would expect from a Bourne film or a classic spy thriller. And let's be honest, the MCU desperately needed something fresh. At this point, massively, because it's stagnating slightly. The first Cap film was a fun period piece, but it was all about setting up the Avengers. Here we get Cap out of the ice, out of his comfort zone, and into a world that barely makes sense to him. It's not just fish out of water, it's fish surrounded by sharks.
You do anything fun Saturday night?
Well, all the guys in my barbershop quartet are dead, so no, not really.
You know, if you ask Kristen out from statistics, she'd probably say yes.
That's why I don't ask.
Too shy or too scared?
Too busy. Was he wearing a parachute? No. No, he wasn't.
I'll be completely honest, I watched The Winter Soldier a fair few times before this recent rewatch. The first time I liked it, of course. The second time I respected it. But I was never one of those people shouting from the rooftops about it being the best Marvel movie ever. I always thought it was good, but it's never in my top 5, and that still hasn't changed. It still isn't there. I just didn't connect with it the same way that some MCU fans did. But preparing for this review, of course, I sat down with fresh eyes. I took my notepad out, and I was determined to figure out why everyone else sees it as number 1 or number 2 in their list. Did it win me over? Yes and no. There's much to admire, but for me it's a solid 4-star film. It's not an all-timer, but let me explain. I'm going to talk about the good bits first and what this film does brilliantly. The action. This movie absolutely set the bar for hand-to-hand combat in these superhero movies. It's not gods shooting lasers or cities falling from the sky. It's close quarters, it's hard-hitting, it's bone-crunching fights. That elevator scene, if anyone else wants to get off. It's one of the most iconic moments in all of Marvel. The way Cap just looks around and reads the tension and says that classic line, it gives me chills. I love that bit.
Both eyes open. Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
The choreography is so tight. The knife fight between Cap and Bucky is brutal. The car chase with Nick Fury is genuinely tense, like something out of a high-action thriller. The Russos don't overuse shaky cam or quick cuts. You actually see the moves, you feel every impact, even the smaller moments. Sam Wilson running alongside Cap at the start, the quick shield throws, everything feels heavy, it feels real, and it feels dangerous. It's not just the action, the tone here is so different to what we've had so far. This is a paranoid thriller. S.H.I.E.L.D. is compromised, Hydra is lurking in the shadows, and suddenly our heroes don't know who to trust. You could drop these characters into a 1970s conspiracy movie and it would absolutely work. You've got Robert Redford as Alexander Pierce. It's perfect casting again from Marvel. He brings that old school political thriller gravitas. He's calm, he's friendly. And that's exactly what makes him terrifying. It's like if your granddad was plotting world domination with a smile and a cup of tea. It's just, that's the sort of vibe that we're getting from him. Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, again, gets some of her best material here. She's not just a sidekick. She's got her own agenda, her own wounds, and she's actually vulnerable for once. The chemistry between her and Chris is genuinely great. They bounce off each other, not as love interests, but as colleagues forced to trust each other in a world where trust is in very short supply.
I joined S.H.I.E.L.D. to protect people.
Captain.
To build a better world
Sometimes means tearing the old one down.
Let's talk about Steve Rogers. Again, Chris Evans. I think this is his role. He's at his best in this film. He's still got that old-fashioned decency, but here he's shaken. The world he knew is gone. The people he trusted are lying to him, and he doesn't have Tony's sarcasm or Thor's swagger. He's just trying to do the right thing. The perfect hero, even when he doesn't know what that looks like anymore. But the emotional heart of this movie is the relationship between Steve and Bucky. Sebastian Stan, he brings real weight to Bucky's transformation into the Winter Soldier. Even behind the mask, you can see the pain, the confusion, the flickers of recognition. He's a ghost from Steve's past turned into a weapon by a world that just chews people up and spits them out. Every time they clash, you feel it. It's not just two superheroes trading blows. It's two best friends on opposite sides of a nightmare, fighting not just for survival, but for a chance to bring him back, to bring Bucky back from the brink of, the line, I'm with you to the end of the line. It absolutely gets me every single time. It's great, it's set up great, the filming's great, it's just a great part of the movie. Special shout out to Frank Grillo as Brock Rumlow. The guy oozes menace. He's not just a faceless henchman. He brings real physicality, real danger, and you know he's going to cause trouble later on in the MCU. Every scene with Grillo has that extra little snap. I think Frank Grillo is great and heavily underused as Rumlow. Nick Fury gets more depth here too. Samuel L. Jackson's performance when Fury is on the run is great. He's paranoid, he's injured, and for once not in complete control. It makes his character feel more real. Coming on to future Cap, Anthony Mackie, we get his introduction as Sam Wilson, here as the Falcon. He gives us a regular guy who instantly feels like he belongs in the MCU. His friendship with Steve is natural and heartfelt, and their early morning runs are some of the most relatable moments in the whole film. Everyone runs past me, so I know exactly how he feels in that moment. So here we go. What doesn't work for me? Honestly, whilst it's needed, the middle act does drag slightly. There's a lot of exposition. S.H.I.E.L.D., Hydra, Project Insight. Sometimes it feels like you need a Marvel encyclopedia just to keep up. I get that they're laying the groundwork for future movies, but this slows things down. The film starts kicking off and then we're brought down and it down. The film also takes itself really seriously. That is both a strength and a weakness. On one hand, it makes the stakes feel real and the danger urgent. On the other hand, I do miss some of the fun and wit that you get with the other Marvel films. There are jokes here, but they really are far and few between. This is a real grown-up movie. It's probably not one I'll watch with my 8 and 5-year-old. Sometimes I just want a bit more fun. That's why I watch these films. I watch these films to escape and have fun. But even with those slow bits, every scene is beautifully shot. Henry Jackman's score is thumping, it's tense, and the Russos make Washington look both beautiful and ominous. You feel the weight of the world pressing in on our heroes.
You know how the game works. Disorder, war. All it takes is one step.
Now, the impact of the Winter Soldier cannot be overstated. After this movie, nothing is the same in the MCU. S.H.I.E.L.D. gone. Hydra is back in a way that no one saw coming. The world of the Avengers is suddenly way more complicated. You can draw a straight line from the events of this movie directly to Civil War, to everything that happens in the next phases. This is where Marvel learned, let's take a risk here. And it paid off massively. Whilst again, not a top 5, it's a good film. It's also the first time Marvel truly did genre filmmaking. this isn't just a superhero movie, it's a political thriller, a spy story, a character drama. And that opened up the door for Guardians to be a space opera, for Ragnarok to be a full-blown comedy, and so on and so on. Here's where I land with it. The Winter Soldier is a great movie. A genuinely grown-up Marvel film, loaded with iconic action, high stakes, and some of the MCU's best performances. Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan both crush it. Scarlett Johansson, brilliant. Frank Grillo adds that little bit of bite to the movie. The direction, the music, the choreography, also top tier. But for me, to break into that 4.5, 5, it's just not there. It's a strong 4 stars, and I respect the absolute bones off of it. I get the love, but for me, it's not in my personal top 5. The pacing in the middle and that heavy exposition and the lack of that signature Marvel fun just hold it back a bit for me. Of course I'd watch it again. I loved the movie for that elevator fight scene alone and the Bucky showdown. But I don't love it as much as some of the more playful entries within the MCU. That said, if you want your Marvel with grit, brains and real emotion, then this film absolutely delivers. And it probably could have done with a bit more of it going forward. It's the film that changed everything. And if you haven't rewatched it in a while, I highly recommend a rewatch, because you will see things and you will see how it's all been set up from there. But what I want to know is, what do you think? Is it the best solo film? Or do you prefer the MCU with a bit more cosmic weirdness and comedy like me? So please, action. Please drop your top 5 Marvel movies in the comments and let's get a real debate going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button. It's okay if you didn't, but please also subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss my next review. More MCU, more movie madness, and more mini mallets are on the way. I think we've got Sonic 3 coming up. So thanks for watching. As always, I'm Ash from Gedgehammer Reviews. Remember, I'm with you to the end of the line. We're not stopping here. But as always, guys, please keep on smashing. Have an amazing day. I'll see you on the next one.